Hello, and welcome to this tutorial on the LunaRecycle Phase 2 Milestone Round Digital Twin Submission Requirements. I'm Elisa Ferguson, and I work with NASA on the design and operation of this challenge. We're grateful for your interest, and we look forward to seeing your solutions. Next slide. In LunaRecycle Phase 2, all teams are required to submit a prototype solution, but a digital twin is optional. You also cannot submit just a digital twin without a prototype. However, if you submit a digital twin, you'll be eligible for additional prizes. An additional $250,000 is available in prizes for digital twins in the milestone round alone. In the milestone round, your digital twin solution, for your digital twin solution, you must submit 3 items: a presentation addressing all the digital twin submission requirements, a link to a video of the presentation, including your digital twin visualization, and a preliminary demonstration proposal. You'll submit these items at the submission platform lunarecycle.competitionsciences.org. In this tutorial, we'll walk through the digital twin submission requirements for your presentation. You can find this document on the Resources page of the Challenge website and on the Resources and Files tab of the submission platform. Finally, you can also find our other submission tutorial videos on the Challenge website. Now we'll go to the requirements for your presentation. We'll start with the instructions. First, in the general instructions, we note the other items required for submission and note that in order for your submission to be complete, you must address all of the sections and questions. Any submission that does not address all of the questions will receive a fail score for completeness and will not be eligible for a prize. Under the presentation instructions, please note that all submissions must be in English. Your presentation must be uploaded as a PDF file and include no more than 20 slides. The slide format and recommended fonts are also listed here. In each section, we provided recommended slide limits. However, these are intended to be guidelines, not requirements. Teams may allocate space to different sections as they see fit, as long as they stay within the overall 20-slide limit. Your recorded presentation may be no longer than 30 minutes and should be narrated by the team leader or team members, not by an AI. The recorded presentation must include a demonstration of a preliminary digital twin visualization for the nominal scenario and a preliminary digital twin visualization for one of the off-nominal scenarios. More details about these scenarios can be found in the challenge rules. Also, please note that in Phase 1, the visualization was required as a separate file, but in Phase 2, we want you to incorporate your visualization into your presentation recording video. This is similar to how you will present it in the final round demonstration, if you're invited to compete in the final round. Finally, it's okay for teams to delete these instructions from their submission so it doesn't count toward the slide limit. Now let's move on to the specific requirements. The first section is focused on vision and innovation. Innovation is a fundamental part of the Digital Twin Challenge, and we encourage you to be as detailed as possible in your answers here. We encourage you to give your digital twin a creative name and explain to us how it pushes the boundaries of the state of the art. I want to note that in part 1.4, where we ask about advanced technologies, this is where you can discuss any use of traditional AI that has been or will be incorporated into your solution. For example, to analyze data, recognize patterns, provide insights, or make decisions. Finally, in part 1.5, we're interested in the commercial potential of your digital twin, whether in a space environment, on Earth, or both. Next, we'll move to Section 2, where you'll describe the architecture of your preliminary digital twin. In phase 1 of the challenge, we received many questions about the types of data and level of fidelity that we're looking for. In phase 1, we were more flexible about the level of fidelity. However, now in phase 2, we encourage you to incorporate the most robust data and highest fidelity that responds to the challenge requirements. Here in the milestone round of phase 2, we call your solution a preliminary digital twin, but we only mean this in the sense that we expect you to continue to refine it and expand the scenarios you're addressing if you're invited to compete in the final round. In addition, we've received questions about whether teams should use any specific software to create their digital twin. The answer is we're not making any specific recommendations for software or other tools. Teams are free to use whatever software they choose. Finally, please remember that in phase 2, your digital twin must be a digital representation of your prototype. It should not be an entirely different system or solution. Now we'll go through each part of the Section 2 requirements. In parts 2.1 and 2.2, we're asking you to give an overview of your architecture and describe your design approach to the digital twin, including the physics-based models and data that you have included in your digital twin. In part 2.3, you'll describe the level of fidelity and resolution in terms of how closely your digital twin represents your prototype. In part 2.4, you'll describe any data acquisition and integration from sensors and observing systems. In parts 2.5 and 2.6, you'll describe any automated control and decision-making capabilities and any AI or machine learning capabilities. In part 2.7, you'll describe your approach to virtual prototyping and testing performance and functionality in a simulated environment, including any results to date. In part 2.8, you'll describe your validation approach for determining how accurately your model's predictions align with the performance of your prototype. And finally, in part 2.9, you'll describe how your digital twin will communicate with the physical assets that are part of your team's prototype. Next, we'll look at sections 3 and 4, where you'll describe how your digital twin addresses the scenarios described in the challenge rules. In the milestone round, teams must address the nominal scenario where the digital twin will mimic the conditions of the demonstration that the team will conduct with their prototype in the final round demonstration. In addition, in the milestone round, teams must address one of the off-nominal scenarios listed in the challenge rules. Teams may choose any one of the 4, which include an expanded capability scenario, a power outage scenario, a planetary surface operation scenario, or a different scenario defined by the team. If you choose the planetary surface operation scenario, you have a choice of operating on the Moon or on Mars, and inside or outside on either planet. Please note, if you're looking at this scenario, we made some minor corrections in the challenge rules to the technical specifications for the Martian environment. These corrections are explained in the current version of the challenge rules available at the challenge website. So in section 3, parts 3.1 and 3.2, you'll describe how your digital twin will address the nominal scenario, including the engineering data, predictive capabilities, and bidirectional communication you have incorporated, as well as any additional features or capabilities that would not otherwise be addressed by your prototype. In this second question, we're looking to understand the additional value that your digital twin brings to your solution. In section 4, parts 4.1 and 4.2, you'll provide the same information for the off-nominal scenario that you choose. If you're designing your own unique off-nominal scenario, you'll need to explain it in part 4.1.1. If you're choosing one of the other off-nominal scenarios described in the challenge rules, you can skip part 4.1.1. Next, we'll move to section 5, which is an opportunity to highlight how your digital twin solution addresses some of the key characteristics of digital twins. You may have already addressed some or all of these characteristics elsewhere in your presentation. Still, please be sure to include this information here, at least in summary form. Your answers can be relatively short if you have already addressed these characteristics elsewhere in your presentation. The 4 characteristics that we want you to highlight are accuracy, cohesion, predictive capabilities, and verification and validation. Section 6 is focused on your development plan, which should outline how you plan to further develop your digital twin if you're invited to compete and demonstrate in the final round. This should include the technical steps, success criteria, as well as how you'll address the necessary personnel, facilities, and other resources that you will need. Your development plan should be a detailed project plan that shows the judges how you intend to make your digital twin a reality. And that's the end of the requirements for the presentation. And now we'll return to the slides for some final reminders. Before we leave you, here are a few important reminders. If you haven't already, please be sure to complete your registration at the Institute of Competition Sciences platform. Just because you've created a team on the platform doesn't mean you're fully registered. All teams must also complete and sign a team agreement and upload their proof of citizenship and proof of insurance or financial responsibility. You can see the challenge rules for more information about these items, and you can review the rules and all of the submission templates at the challenge website, lunarecyclechallenge.ua.edu. We've also created separate tutorial videos for the prototype submission, the preliminary demonstration proposal, and a walkthrough of the submission platform. Don't forget, the deadline for submissions is January 22nd, 2026 at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you have questions, check out the FAQs at the challenge website or email us at lunarecycle@ua.edu. Thank you for watching this tutorial and thank you for competing. We look forward to seeing your submissions.